Thank you very much for joining us in this discussion. As you know, here on KTN News, we focus on matters that are taking place in the country, but also regionally as well. I'm Yvonne Okwara Matole. Now, earlier this month, Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu was shot in Dar es Salaam and has since been transported to Kenya for specialized treatment. And he is currently in the country receiving that treatment. And a number of leaders from the Chadema party have been coming to take a look at his progress and how that is going. And two of them join me to discuss more on that, what's happening in Tanzania, and of course, what's happening in Kenya as well, considering we're still in the midst of an election campaign season. So I'm very glad to be joined here on KTN News by Mheshimiwa Peter Msigwa. Thank you very much. Who's the Member of Parliament for Iringa, and he's also the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs in his country, as well as Mheshimiwa God Bless Lema, who's the MP for Arusha. Asanteni sana for joining us here. I think I would like to start with you, Mheshimiwa Msigwa. Can you tell us the state of Honorable Tundu Lissu and how he's doing? What's his progress at the moment?
Yeah, I wouldn't like to go in detail, but I will say he's critical but stable. At least today, he got a little bit of tea. So to us, it's a good sign. And we as a preacher also, I consider it as a miracle. But he was badly injured, and we thank God that we have reached to this far.
All right.
Yeah.
How's his family doing?
The wife, she's very confident, and she's sitting around beside the husband. And we are together, and the family is doing. Tundu Lissu has got two boys. They're still in Tanzania, but they are okay. And the relative, the siblings, they're doing fine.
All right.
We are coping the situation.
We also understand his driver was also injured in the shooting incident. Can you tell us about that? No, the
driver was not injured, but we brought in Kenya to get some psychological treatment. So he's under treatment so far in Kenya also. Yeah.
All right, also under treatment. All right, because the rumors had been going around, Mheshimiwa Lema, and I know you heard this, and you know how it is with social media about the state of his health, and obviously an issue of concern for many Tanzanians. So you can at least confirm here that he is critical but stable. Is he speaking? Have you spoken to him? What is he saying?
Yeah, actually, we spoke to him. We have been here for a few days ago until today, and I think me and my fellow brothers will continue to be here for some time until we make sure that he's going to be stable enough. So he's critical. Actually, he's critical because he's still as ICU, but he's stable because actually at least for a moment he can, he can speak just a little words. He can have some tea. That's actually as a Reverend, he said here that it's a miracle, even for us to see Tundu actually still going on for his life up to this moment.
All right, and you're raising funds for him?
Yeah, actually we are raising funds actually from different angles of the countries. Actually, even here in Kenya, some people here in Kenya they've helped so much about this fundraising donation. So it will still need money because it's too expensive here at Nairobi Hospital. But actually, the matter is not about money. Actually, Tundu Lissu's life actually is so expensive that you cannot compare with any kind of price. So we're still looking for the money. We still do fundraising. We're still looking for the money for different kind of people, even from some kind of an international community.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the pace of investigations surrounding his shooting. And Tundu Lissu is known to be a very fiery critic of President John Magufuli in Tanzania. What is your assessment of how the investigations are going? Are you satisfied that justice will be done for this incident?
Honestly, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Number one, when the incident happened, it took about 2 hours for the police to arrive at the scene or at the hospital to see what was going around. So far, I haven't heard any arrest. So, as a party, really we are uncomfortable the way the government is handling this matter, considering that some few weeks back, Tundu Lissu complained that there are some guys following him, they are hunting him, and yet there was no any action taken by the government.
Did he go to the police with those threats?
He was holding a press, so he could speak openly. Everybody heard what he was saying, and the police never took any action. And Yeah.
Do you think the shooting might have anything to do with how outspoken he is?
Yes.
Yes.
Confidently, yes.
Yes. Actually, this is a crime organized. This is a crime organized. These things has never been done by the these are street bandits. This is crime organized. So actually, that's why if you ask me, do you guys believe in police investigation? No, we don't believe in state investigation.
And you've asked for international investigators?
Actually, we ask for international interference, but I know that my government cannot accept this. Because they know that if they're going to accept this, maybe they're going to be on shape by themselves. So we don't have a trust with the states, but actually, what we're going to do? That's why actually we cry so much, we make loud so much so that we can get an interference from international community so that we can get help.
So, asking for international investigators, whom particularly have you reached out to? Have you reached out to European countries? Have you reached out to the United States? What, what are you?
You cannot just go to the international community unless the government allows that.
Yeah.
So far the government doesn't allow that.
Yeah.
They say we are capable enough to do the investigation. So as a party, we don't have that power that we can just bring like the Scotland Yard come to our country unless the government allows that. If you remember what happened in Kenya, there was a time when you invited the Scotland Yard, and they did their job here.
Yeah.
So unless the government allows that, otherwise we are trying to bring awareness and to try to ask the government, to seek the government so that they can bring the international communities or like Scotland Yard.
And do you think they will agree to this?
No, they don't. Because
so where does this leave the state of investigations in your view then?
The point, we are making noises so that we are making noise in our country, in our region, like in East Africa. You are our neighbors, because when Tanzania we are affected, you are affected also. So we are trying to push, to press on, to make more noises from all angles, to all angles, to international communities, so that I can hear what's going on in Tanzania. Right. The democracy is shrinking in our country.
And actually, according to what he said, our Secretary General of a party actually had a meeting with this international community, and we put this that we need some international investigation to come in.
Right.
But the problem is they're not going to be allowed to come in. So that's why we make noise. And actually, we're making noise here, even here at KTN, so that even the government of Kenya, because we all in one region, so that they can see the importance of this, because this is critical, very dangerous. It's critical, very dangerous.
So how far are you willing to go? Because now we're part of the East African community. Do you think of going to to the higher level of the EAC, for example? You're also a member of SADC. Is this something that you would consider in terms of perhaps trying to put pressure on your government to get to the bottom of this shooting?
To put pressure is one thing, but our pressure to be accepted by the region is another thing. You put pressure on whom? To whom? To the M7 government, to Kagame government. You put pressure to, because in all regions, actually, you see at least a kind of a proper democracy here in Kenya. But if you go to another country in your regionals, you see that there is no real democracy. So you put pressure on where? On whom? Okay. So that's why I say, actually, we are trying. We cannot give up on keeping much the pressure, but as long as we cannot give up, but also we need our pressure to be accepted by the community.
But on addition on that,
yes,
it's a wake-up call to East Africa community that we don't need this kind of community that where they meet in Arusha, they just take photos and then they go back home after getting a cup of tea instead of dealing with this. Important matters, like we have to discuss about democracy, human rights, good governance. They don't talk much about that. As my friend, my colleague spoke about Uganda, you see the way the opposition, how is tortured. You see the way Kagame is running the government. So I think this is a wake-up call also to East Africa community, to the leaders, that we need to go deeper to talk about the important thing that touches life of people especially in good governance, human rights. People, they just disappear. People, we are politicians.
Is that the state? Is that what's happening in Tanzania? What would you say about, you said earlier the democracy is shrinking in Tanzania. When John Pombe Magufuli came to power, I mean, there was a lot of promise. He was known as the bulldozer. He was the person who got the job done. Is that still the sentiment 2 years later?
I will tell you now, the investors are running away from our country. That's not a good sign. And we as politicians were not allowed to do rallies like you Kenyans are doing here. And there's no freedom of speech. You're talking about, you're criticizing the government. Some people are spying behind. As we are speaking now, I just got information that the police are looking for me now in my country. They went to one of the hotels that I normally spend my time. They're searching everywhere. They think I'm in Tanzania while I'm in Kenya. So this is the kind of governance we have in Tanzania. Just because I'm saying that, I'm not scared. I have been arrested. It's not a big deal. But what I'm saying, democracy is shrinking in our country, and I think it's a wake-up call to East Africa community to reconsider this. We shouldn't be just getting a cup of tea in Arusha and think that let us touch all those fears about this integration in the region.
All right, that's an interesting thing. So what happens then, God bless, going forward? Because I think you're maybe almost midway with President Magufuli's term. So what are your plans then, for the next election, perhaps?
Actually, we number one is they must know that our people must have an assurance that as a leader we're not going to give up. We are not going to give up on the move where we are right now. So.
But how do you do that when you don't have public rallies? Where do you meet?
We are pushing very hard. Actually, right now we don't do rallies as a party. Actually, but me in my constituency I do rallies as an MP. Same to my colleague here. But we are not going to keep quiet. Actually, we now think we think critical. We strategize right now because the situation now is very critical. It was banning rallies, it was arresting MPs, but now it is shooting the MPs.
The level is accelerating.
The level now of what are we going to do our politics in the country is so dangerous. So actually we will go for the retreat for some times, and we are going to change our strategy and to reorganize ourselves how we can move forward for the democracy in our country.
If you were to fast forward to the elections, who would Chadema be fielding?
Sorry,
who would Chadema field for the next elections for the seat of president?
Oh, that's too early. Politics is...
Are there any plans? Might that person have been Tundu Lissu?
We cannot say anything. Politics is dynamic. You never guarantee. So it's too early to say anything about that.
Okay.
Actually,
anything can happen.
We have 3 years ahead of the game. So it's very difficult to say who's going to be...
Or you don't want to reveal your game plan too early?
To reveal if we know, it's better, even for preparation. But until now, actually, we don't know who's going to run for a presidential seat.
So I want to focus a little bit also on what's happening here. And perhaps the best place to start would be with the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs, Pastor Honorable Msigwa?
Yes.
You're a pastor as well.
Yes.
But let's talk about what's happening in Kenya right now, because we're going to a repeat election for the presidential race. Chadema and Lowassa have expressed their support for President Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, Honorable Lowassa was here in the country a little earlier, to campaign for President Uhuru Kenyatta. So perhaps just your thoughts on that. Why are you supporting President Uhuru Kenyatta? Why do you think, in fact, if I were to quote Mr. Mbowe, he says, President Uhuru Kenyatta is the right candidate for democracy in Kenya. So tell us about why you chose him and not any of the other 6 candidates that we had, and whether you're going to extend this support even as we go into the repeat election.
Number one, I have much respect to Raila Odinga. I know how he worked hard to push democracy in this country. To elevate democracy in this country as we are now. But he also, as a party, we think Uhuru elevated democracy in this country to a point where everybody in Africa is admiring where you Kenyans you are now. So we as a party, we decided to support Uhuru. We're trying to compare we compare your democracy to our democracy in our land. We see these three pillars in your country, they are working very well. And Uhuru is we believe, is a kind of a president who he doesn't lose a sleep if someone criticizes him or insults him. Then business will go as usual, and we support Uhuru because he allows people to speak their mind. He allows freedom of speech. He allows the three pillars to work independently. So we think this is something that should be spread in the continent. That's the main reason why we support Uhuru. Right. We want the same kind of democracy to be practiced in our country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there also an element of betrayal? Chadema was not pleased with Raila supporting Magufuli in the 2015 race because, in fact, Chadema did support Raila in 2012.
Okay.
Munahisi kusalitiwa na Bwana Raila Odinga?
That's also is a fundamental reason. That's also a fundamental reason. We can't work with a traitor, actually, in politics. And that's why we decided even to support President Uhuru.
What went wrong?
Actually, I mean...
Why do you think...
we have only 25 minutes of this kind of discussion. I don't think it's going to be enough. But if we have a chance for the next time, we can express this. But we, as a party, we decided that we'll support Jubilee and President Kenyatta because Raila shows some kind of betrayal in our relationship, you see. That's
the other thing also, Raila supported Magufuli fully in Tanzania.
In Tanzania,
election. And remember the previous election in Kenya, we supported Raila. We sent some of our guys and some of our staff in here. But all of a sudden, then Raila, he went...
Do you understand why he shifted?
They are good buddies with Magufuli.
Yes.
So I think to him, Magufuli was more important than the big picture of democracy in the country.
And which for us as a country, as a political party, we see it as a betrayal because you don't betray the principle because of your friends, So we decided as a party now.
So you think Raila betrayed the principle of democracy because of his friendship with President Magufuli?
Myself, I think so.
Yeah.
For what's up in Tanzania,
his friendship was more important than the big picture of what we want.
Because Raila, he know very clear that actually Tanzania has been passing in a very kind of temptation about the politics and democracy. So Raila actually is a you call here Baba, is a father of democracy. He's been working so hard for democracy of Kenya. He could see the big picture about the democracy in the region, not his friendship with President Magufuli.
Okay, let me go back a little bit to during the campaign time when NASA said they had a tallying center in among other countries. There was Kenya, they talked about Germany, but Tanzania as well. What are your feelings towards that, considering the relationship between the two countries? In fact, we understand Kenya sent a complaint to the government. The government denied this, but what was your feeling about NASA possibly having a tallying center in Tanzania?
Number one, if NASA had they have that tallying center in Tanzania, that was wrong. And my government denied about that nothing happened there. But again, I don't know.
What do you think? Do you think there was the tallying center in Tanzania?
I don't know.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. But I wouldn't support that because I don't think diplomatically it's right. Kenyans, you should deal with your business as long as no human rights violated, democracy violated, or... But
yet you are also supporting one of the candidates. Do you see that as interference?
No, we're not. We are supporting...
apparently John Pombe Magufuli, it is said, would be supporting Raila, and you are supporting Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yeah, but that's allowed internationally. We have some kind of ideology together sometimes, but we can support one of the candidates, but not necessarily that we want to interfere for example, interfering to the tume uchaguzi or whatever. We cannot do that.
Okay. What's the nature of the support that Chadema is giving President Uhuru Kenyatta? Is it money? Is it cars? Is it...
Moral
we know
support.
at least
No.
Lowassa has come in to...
No, it's just a moral support.
Moral support.
Actually, just a moral support, and to let people of Kenya understand that we, as a party, as a strong opposition party in the country, we were supporting Uhuru. Actually, and we will continue to support Uhuru Kenyatta.
You will
We
for the
continue.
October
Okay,
17th?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will we see any of you, or perhaps Bwana Lowassa coming in?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. And I would like also maybe for some few days, if I will have a chance to go to one of the rally, I'll appreciate. But we have a very good contact with our Jubilee teams. Actually, as a friend, we support them as we say.
Okay, all right. Just your final thoughts on what's happening in the region. Because we do focus on what's happening in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda as well. I'd just like to very quickly, Mheshimiwa Msigwa, get your thoughts on what's happening in Uganda for a moment, because there is that bill that's in Parliament to remove the age limit, and that would then allow President Yoweri Museveni to run again for yet another term. What are your thoughts as to what's happening there?
I think this is the problem again in our continent. Leaders don't think about having exit plan, and we don't want to raise young leaders to take over when we are gone. I think that's greedy. We have seen the same thing in Kagame also. They want to remain in power for many years. So for me, I think we should change the way we think, the way we behave as leaders. There must be an exit plan where you think you lead up to this point, and you raise some young leaders to take over. But I'm really not happy the way Museveni is doing and Kagame is doing. That's why we have a lot to learn from Kenya. We are putting a good example in the continent, in the world. In totality.
Okay, all right, thank you. Your final words?
I think Kenya has been good example of democracy in the region. But as only actually the limits that I see you have is tribal situation. So if you can overcome that, I think Kenya, you can help the regional in a very great manner. So you see there is a problem of democracy in Kigali. There is a problem of democracy in Kampala. There is a problem of democracy now in Dar es Salaam. We have a problem in Sudan. The only stable country now remaining in the regional. Actually, you can just say it's only Kenya. So you are going to the election on the coming month. So we pray that you sail through in a peaceful way, so that maybe we could start to negotiate the thought of democracy in the regions. Because as much as I can see now, actually we are going to face a very fundamental problem about democracy in the continent. You see what's happened, actually, you said yourself, you see what's happened in the parliament of Uganda recently. So it's a problem right now. It's a problem in Dar es Salaam, it's a problem in Kigali, it's a problem in Kampala. Actually, the only stability that we are looking for and we hope for is you people of Kenya to stay peaceful, so that maybe the negotiation will start from Nairobi to have a pure democracy and strong democracy in all over the countries.
Don't let us down.
And Raila, Uhuru, and Uhuru showed that, recently after the decision of the Supreme Court, it's not easy for the African president to accept the decision from the court while you are in the seat. You are in the seat. So we've seen maybe if he's going to sail through on this election, whoever. But I wish much lucky to Uhuru. Maybe I would like to see the negotiation point of democracy and the rule of law should be started here at Nairobi.
In Nairobi.
Yeah.
And you were saying we shouldn't let you down?
Yeah, don't let us down. You have paid a price to reach where you are. Please don't let us down.
Okay.
We want your election to be peacefully, and whoever win, we would like Uhuru to win, but let us Kenyans remain peacefully, so that we can get to learn more stuff from you guys.
All right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to both of you. And we do continue to wish Honorable Tundu Lissu better health as he continues to recover, and all the best with the investigations in your country. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Honorable Peter Msigwa, who's a pastor,
Yes.
MP for Iringa and the Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister, as well as Honorable God Bless
Also, the Shadow
Lema.
Minister of Home Affairs.
Oh, and the Shadow Minister for Home Affairs and MP for Arusha as well, both from the Chama cha Demokrasia na Maendeleo, Chadema, in Tanzania. Asanteni sana kwa wakati wenu.
Thank you.
All right, so that's our discussion. They say we shouldn't let them down, but watching the events here closely, thanks for watching.